Hi, I'm George K. and this is my father Niels. Welcome back to Father and Sonthesizer. It's a sweltering hot day here in Germany today.
You tell me.
And last Thursday something really special happened. As I'm sure you're all aware of, Look Mum No Computer. He's a YouTuber and he was basically one of our greatest inspirations for this channel. He subscribed to us on YouTube, on this YouTube channel, and that's a huge milestone for us. Today we're presenting another previous project, as our current projects are all either not finished or in the finishing touches, and development takes time. We can't have a new module for you every week.
Sadly, no.
Even if, as much as we'd like to. And this week's previous project is the Mega Multi-Module. It's basically a collection of handy modules like envelope generators, LFOs, a noise generator, and things like that, all slapped together onto one faceplate and one PCB to have in a small convenient spot in your modular synthesizer. And this was for my live modular synthesizer, the smaller one.
And I noticed you use it quite a lot in your setup.
Oh yeah, I never have a single patch without it because it's just so handy. It's got enough LFOs to keep everything moving for ages, and the envelope generators are super handy. And let's start with that. I'm going to show you a sound example and a short explanation of it in use. I think I'm going to make a bass patch and show you how I use the Mega Multi-Module in a bass patch. So what we have here is a basic bass patch, and here's the Mega Multi-Module. We're going to use the Mega Multi-Module for the majority of this bass patch. Right now you can't hear anything, but you can see that I've got some trigger signals coming to the envelope generator. Now let's start by making this audible. Yeah, you can already hear that. What I always like to do is I always like to have a second envelope generator modulating the filter, and one for the volume and one for the filter. So let's do that. Yeah, that's the filter. I'd like to add some pulse width modulation to one of the VCOs, and for that I'm going to use one of the LFOs in here. Subtle difference, but trust me, it makes all the difference in a nice bass patch. Now we've also got a noise generator here. Yeah, let's add some standard white noise from the noise cornucopia. Ideally you'd add this noise before the filter and before the VCA, but the way I've got it set up right now is that I can't do that. But I want to show you my favorite part of this noise generator, and that would be the grainy noise. Can you hear that? It sounds like vinyl crackling. That's moody as hell, isn't it? I love that noise. And you can adjust the graininess. That's gone. Can get quite harsh quite quickly, so you've got to be very careful with this. But now what I've also got is a distortion module, and let's try that, shall we? Right, for this we've got an input level, a second input level, the distortion amount, and some switches, hard and soft. Right now we've got soft on, hard off. Add hard. Soft off as well. That sounds gnarly as hell. Now let's try that second input, because I've got two inputs on the distortion module. Let's take the kick drum, the 808 kick drum. Okay, let's lay down a simple beat with just the kick and the bass. that's pretty much all the features of this fantastic module. Now, one thing I'd like to do is do an A/B test of the Dirty Vca. We've got this this thing going here still, the bass line. That's a day-night difference, isn't it? This was actually the second multi-module we've built. The first one was one of our first modules in one of the first or second rack, and it was a bit more basic. It did have a sample and hold, which this one does not, but it never really worked properly with a sample and hold at least.
So for the Mega multi-module, we heavily relied on designs made by Ray Wilson.
Oh yeah.
And so we modified his noise cornucopia and put that on his LFOs and his AD generators.
And the distortion module on the Mega Multi is not a Ray Wilson design, that's some type of guitar pedal. I don't actually recall which one it was. I think it was a tube screamer of some sort. And we modified that a little as well to have more than one input, so you can have multiple things distorted at the same time. We don't have CV control as it was a guitar pedal, and we didn't see the need for CV on there anywhere.
No, right.
Yeah, nothing you could really do with CV there. And as for the VCAs, we have two Ray Wilson VCAs and two Dirty Vcas from the DR110, which we showed off a few episodes ago, the drum modules.
And then our longtime viewer, Nick Wood, had a few more comments, which we are happy to answer.
Yeah. First he asked how long Niels has been working with synthesizers, building synthesizers, and why he would be doing this.
That's a very good question, actually. As we have mentioned before, I studied electronics at our university in Braunschweig, and at that time I was really I liked the idea of synthesizers, and I was very much wanting to do that sometime, but never got the money or time to do it actually.
Because you were a student and there was a lot of things going on. You didn't really have the time or the funds or anyone who would play such an instrument.
Indeed. Because I'm not a musician, so it would be more or less pointless to build a synthesizer. Then, roughly 1.5 years ago, George expressed his interest in such a musical instrument, and he was thinking about buying one. I said, no, we do this ourselves. So finally my dream from my childhood came to life, and we started to build. As you know from our first episode, I think.
Yeah. The Soundlab Mini Mark II by Ray Wilson. And
right.
Before that I had actually bought a synth, the Arturia Microbrute. Mm-hmm. That's a fun little synth. I still use it quite a lot.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was our beginning basically. And what helped a lot was that your grandma, that my grandma, your mother, found in her basement some unused PCB plates from your youth.
From my youth, actually from the 80s.
So we're building all of our PCBs on genuine 80s PCB base.
True.
And the second comment from Nick was, he said he had been working with MIDI quite a bit, and he was interested in building MIDI type modules for his modular. And he said he'd like to build our test module, our function generator, and is also interested in USB MIDI. And during the past week you built something with USB MIDI, didn't you?
Yeah, actually what I did, I used an Arduino Uno and the USB host shield for that Uno, and slapped it together. It's just really, you stick it together, and I was using an example code from the USB MIDI host library, the dump example, and well, there were on the screen I could see the MIDI messages coming from the KeyStation keyboard, the little one up there, and so I added a little bit of code to have a MIDI serial output, and voila, my USB host to MIDI was ready. And should we do a little?
Yeah, let's do a little example. And listen to that. This is the mini USB key station. It's going USB to the Arduino. Let's taped on back there. It's still a prototype, and that's going into the function generator. And here you go. Perfect. Works perfectly.
I also spent some time on the function generator, software-wise, because we noticed some weird effects. When you turn down the LFO all the way, then the frequency of the function generator change, and actually that is not supposed to happen. So I finally found the culprit. It was, you do not output SPI DUC values in an interrupt routine. It simply takes too long. So what was happening that depending on how much time the code was using, we had different frequencies on the output. Not a good idea. So I'm back to using the PWM output, which is a single command more or less, and it's very fast. And for the control voltage output, once you use to align it in an external VCO, I use the DUC chips, at least one channel of the DUC chip.
And what else did you do to the function generator while you were at it?
Well, I couldn't help myself, and I slammed in polyphonic voices.
It's not perfect yet, but it's
it's fun. It's fun.
You don't need that in a function generator at all.
No, but well, I said, what the heck?
Why not? If the processing power is there, why not?
Indeed. And it's basically something I took from the wavetable synthesizer we are building, modified it a little bit, make it simpler. Like we don't have a full-blown input possibilities for the ADSR. That's also built in there.
Yeah, it's a set ADSR to some values that work
using a fixed setting
and no filter or anything. It's just fun.
Yes.
Just a toy.
Yes. Another thing that was missing on the function generator rack was how to wire up the front plate. That is something I will deliver within, let's say, a week or so, because I need a little bit time to draw the whole thing.
Yeah. And you're back to work now that your vacation's over.
Yes.
Productivity has plummeted.
It depends where.
I mean, your employer is probably happy that you're working.
Yes.
But it's not helping the synth projects at all.
No, it's not.
Again, as every week, thank you very much for watching. I hope you're gonna come back next week to watch the next episode, and in the meantime, check out my Instagram. That's @GeorgeKMusic_, and on there I've got all the synths, playing around with the synths, some Stranger Things covers, and also check out the website. That's fatherandsynthesizer.wordpress.com. That's where we host all of our build data, all of the schematics. And thank you very much for watching, and remember, stay curious.
The serial output, I was not using serial.out and then
You just activated your Siri.
Oh, I did?
You activated your Siri.
Oh.
Right.
So